Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on how to create an effective fundraising plan for 2023. My name is Jenna. I am an account executive here at CauseVox, and I'm super excited to go through this plan with you all. Just a little bit of housekeeping. This webinar is live, so if you can't hear me talking, let us know and make sure your volume is up. Yeah, you can chat me in anytime throughout the webinar. Feel free, if you have any questions, to put them into the Q&A panel. And the webinar is being recorded, so we will be sending you all of the slides, all of the information discussed today, as well as the recording and all of the resources that I list in the webinar today. But yeah, I'm really excited. I know that this is a big, huge topic and really sets the stage for the rest of your fundraising through the year. So I'm really excited. If you want, while we wait for all of our friends to join, you can chat us in and let everyone know who you are, your name, where you're from, maybe your organization name. And this question that I'd love to hear from you all answer, what kind of person are you? Are you the planner or are you the spontaneous person? Like, do you really need to know, oh, what am I going to do today, step by step? Or are you more of let me see what the day turns out to be, where it takes me? Planner or spontaneous? Major planner, Debbie. Major planner. This is going to be great for you, Debbie. And Eileen, hello from coastal Virginia. A lot of both. So Hannah's a both. Linda, hello. In North Carolina, you're type A, so major planner. Yeah, that makes sense. Louise in Cape Town, South Africa. Hello. Good evening to you there. And Celia in California, both planner and spontaneous. It's good to have a good mix. Louise is a planner. Taylor, hello from South Carolina, very much a planner. Seems like we got planners in the house today, so I hope this plan works for you all. Barbara, hello from Seattle. Definitely a planner. Nice. Amy in Washington, hello to you. Hello, Julian in Toronto. More spontaneous, but trying to be more of a planner. I can see that, how, there can be benefits to both, definitely benefits to both, right? You don't want to miss on those opportunities that weren't planned for. Eric from Seattle, a planner. And hello, greetings from Florida, Bernice. Daniel in Zimbabwe, hello, definitely a planner. All right, nice. Well, I think you guys are gonna love what we have in store today. I don't know if it seems like daunting or maybe it anxiety inducing. We don't want any of that. Today is a celebration, right? Today is a celebration. This is your opportunity to be able to make a plan, to make it the most fulfilling and effective fundraising for 2023. So again, my name is Jenna Notar Francesco. I'm an account executive here at CauseVox. And if you don't know about CauseVox, I'll just share a little bit of information. We are a fundraising platform that helps all organizations and nonprofits grow their fundraising very easily. So we do that by providing best-in-class fundraising through our donation forms, mobile payments, campaigns, ticketing, peer-to-peer. It's all in one place for you. We also provide one-on-one hands-on support for all of our users. So if you chat us in, a real live agent will be able to respond to your requests. We even set up phone call, share screen sessions to do your settings together. And then we also provide our top-rated fundraising and education through webinars like the one today. So again, you can raise more online with CauseVox by removing any clunky, outdated software, like, those typical standard PayPal buttons or anything else that might be complex or prohibitive to your donors online, and really just upgrade it with our new donation forms with pledges and crowdfunding and peer-to-peer and ticketing. Again, you can modernize your donation form on your website directly and be able to, accept one-time gifts, recurring gifts, pledges, which we see are really popular right now. You'll be able to send those automatic receipts with customized branding and options to cover the fees. You can even sell tickets in combination with your donation form. So you can have your donation form embedded online on your website. You can also have a ticket form if you needed more event ticket or raffle ticket functionality. You can also embed our ticket form on your website, or it comes all included, integrated on our fundraising sites, which also allows you to run hands-free peer-to-peer. So if you want to invite people on your mission with you for a specific event or fundraising campaign, just invite your peer-to-peer fundraisers, and they'll be able to get up and running with a 60-second self-service sign up, totally clutter-free. They can access their dashboard and share out to social media and email right on their phone. If you want to learn more, maybe you have some questions after today's demo, you can go to our schedule a demo page and then request either our pre-recorded demo, or I do run live demos. You can just schedule it with me as well. And throughout the course of today's webinar, we will be discussing different resources that we have on in our Learn section on our website. And you will, if you subscribe to our blog, you'll be able to receive those free resources weekly. So definitely would recommend you checking out our blog and sign up to subscribe. But today, again, we will be walking through a fundraising plan and calendar framework. And we will discuss proven strategies to set you up for your success in 2023 with an optional Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions throughout today's webinar, please use our Q&A panel at the bottom, and I'll try to get to as many questions as possible. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. Here we go. So I have this quote from Earl Nightingale. All you need is the plan, the roadmap, and the courage to press on to your destination. So what is your destination for 2023? Maybe, sometimes, people at the beginning of January, they kind of write their goals for the year, and that's our perspective here for your organization. As far as 2022 went, maybe fundraising didn't go quite in the direction you originally planned, but there's always a new opportunity to start fresh, and that's where we are now. So now is more important than ever to sort of create this new plan and this clear roadmap to set you on that path. What is a fundraising plan? This might seem like an obvious answer, but basically it's your guide to how you'll conduct fundraising. So your goals, your strategies, your events, your deadlines, your activities within a given time frame. But we're here today to actually break down each component and determine what that actually looks like and how you're going to be able to make those decisions. So yeah, essentially, you'll put it together in a document, and it'll include your goals and everything. And there's different ways to organize it. So we'll look at just a couple ideas today. Why is it important? It's important because if you've ever traveled or, tried navigating without a map, it can be very challenging, right? So we want to create a map to reach our desired destination, and it'll help you stay on track throughout the year. Again, best fundraising plans are very organized and actionable, and they tell a complete story of how you're going to achieve your goals. So again, always just pointing you in the right direction with all of your activities, making sure they are that they are productive and produce the types of results that you want. So making sure that all of your actions make sense every day and get you closer to your goal. So now we're going to jump into the anatomy of a fundraising plan. We have 5 parts to go through, and I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible, but just hang in there with me. So number 1, our goals. Right now, we're going to look at when you determine your goals, you're looking at how much you raised in the past, and then consider where you can increase your goals for the future. So you want to evaluate your past goals from the previous fundraising plan. So this is now what you're going to do is you're going to get out that 2022 fundraising approach, determine what worked, and be honest about what didn't go as planned, maybe. So with this knowledge, you can begin creating a plan for the future, right? We want to look back to look forward. So then we can turn to create, in turn, create that new energy and fuel to begin a fundraising journey in the best way possible. So take a moment to review your plan from last year. So maybe it was, having a spreadsheet. You can create a list of all the fundraising activities you organized last year, as well as some of the sources of income, and determine that for, determine what you did last year and how the activities helped you or benefited your organization. And then you can calculate the ROI, which is the return on investment. We do have this helpful tool for calculating your ROI, and that will be included in our list of resources. So you're going to get out your sources of income spreadsheet to determine your ROI. So you can include all individual donations procured by your direct mail, your online fundraising, your special or in-person fundraisers, your phone solicitations, your membership fees, your corporate sponsors, company matches, grants, sale of items. And then you can make this nice little spreadsheet just to determine the fundraiser or the campaign that the activity was, the expenses of that particular activity, the income that it generated, and then the volunteer staff time. So you can sort of highlight the fundraisers that expect to bring in similar results. So mark those, the ones that you want to do again, and cross out anything that isn't worth your time or actually produces a low return on investment. In addition to looking back at the metrics of your past fundraising activities for 2022, you will want to revisit your mission and vision. Your mission and vision should guide everything your organization does. So when you're spending time swimming through spreadsheets and numbers, it's easy to lose sight of why you're doing the hard work. And now is a really great time to recaptivate that mission, grounding your fundraising plan in your mission. So what are you trying to accomplish? For example, you need to raise $250,000 to achieve the organization's mission of feeding 1,000 families. That's your mission, or you have to do this one big thing. And your values can also help you focus on how you want to raise that money. For example, if part of your mission is education, you might consider holding workshops to bring in some of the donations, right? So we've got to pair what you're trying to accomplish with how that would best match and fall in line with your mission. So that was a little bit about helping you to look back and look forward for your goal setting. Now we're moving on to number 2, which is your budget. How much you intend to raise, as well as your expenses and staff time, so you can see what you're actually bringing in. Let's take a closer look. So first, you want to determine your budget. Step 1 in determining your budget is the big year-long fundraising goal. That's your macro goal. So what number do you need to hit to have a successful fundraising year? Your macro goal should match your organization's mission. You can keep it concise. It doesn't have to be long. However, the goal should be one that all the other smaller goals feed into. So if you start working on something in the year that doesn't feed into the big goal, then you need to question whether it's worth doing. Now, to calculate your organization's goal, you should know how much you need to raise in 2023 or whatever your fiscal year looks like. And if you need guidance, you can work with whoever is in charge of the finances to get a copy of the budget. And then what you're going to do is you're going to complete the following steps. So you're going to start by writing down how much you expect to spend on all of your expenses. So that includes administration, programming, fundraising, etc. Next, you're going to write down how much you expect to bring in from all of your guaranteed committed sources, which would include your campaign pledges, government grants, private grants, foundations. You can also consider including your major donors who have already committed. And then you're going to calculate the budget by subtracting the guaranteed income from your total expenses. And this is how much you need to raise in other types of fundraising activity during the calendar year, right? So we have this little example on the side. Operating budget minus the government grants and foundations leaves a total for $155,000. So now we can start to set new goals, and these are all of the little ones that are going to feed into this larger year-end goal of $155,000. These micro goals should be SMART goals, and if you're not familiar with the acronym, it's specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. So you should definitely aim high with these, but make sure they are realistic and within a specific time frame. They need to be directly related to that organizational goal, again, as I had mentioned. So you'll want to, like, for example, if you need to increase the average gift from your existing donors, it's likely you'll need to do both. I'm sorry. I think I have another slide here that explains it. Oh, I have the example here for the SMART fundraising goals. So we have on our, we have a downloadable fundraising plan and template, and it comes equipped with this SMART goals template that you can download and be able to edit it for your own SMART goals that you might have. So for example, maybe your focus area are donor acquisition and donor engagement, or donor retention. It could be several areas of focus, but you can detail all this out and have a really nice centralized place so that all of your colleagues can see it and you can work on it together in a living document. So this is just one way that we've broken it out between focus areas, obstacles, and targets. So that's included in one of the resources we're going to provide after. So now here was the example I was trying to make. If you want to raise an additional $155,000, then you'll need to increase the number of donors you have or increase the gift size or both. So, right, so this whole idea, this whole plan is all about determining one thing and then working backwards to achieve that bigger end goal. So these small goals fit into your organization's main goal, and chances are you'll need to either increase number of donors or increase gift size depending on your organization's major goal. We have a pro tip here to put the goals in order of priority. So which ones have the biggest impact towards your bottom line? And then, as I had mentioned, the macro, micro fundraising goals are included in our fundraising plan download. So I have this example of Kansas Advocates for Better Care. So any fundraising campaign, whether it's like a DIY project or a giving day or a run, walk, race challenge, a raffle, any online events, in-person, hybrid, these smaller fundraising campaigns could be considered part of your micro goals, your fundraising activities that will contribute towards your larger year-end goal, right? Because it has its own goal, for example, maybe $50,000, and that's going to fit into your organization's macro goal. So, being able to think of different activities, different fundraising activities, possibly online, in-person, or hybrid throughout the year will help you reach your organization macro goal. So speaking of activities and strategies, now we're going to go into the activities section. So what strategies you'll need to do to reach your fundraising goals? Strategies should be very specific and metric oriented. And you'll want to, when you outline your strategies, just take some time. It's worth doing with your staff or a team member for ideas. As mentioned in step 1, we recommend doing the review of what strategies did and did not work last year so that you can pick and focus on the ones that will drive results this year. They should be specific metric or KPI associated with them. And we do have a link to discuss more about what KPIs are. But remember, it's about SMART goals, some things that are specific, measurable, actionable. I'm forgetting the word, realistic and time bound. So some examples of suggested strategies that we traditionally see in fundraising plans, and ideally what the end product would look like in your plan are, for example, goal, increase the total number of donors by 5%. Arbitrary number, something that you all can determine for your organization. So one strategy might be organize one major fundraiser per quarter and one smaller fundraiser per month. Strategy, plan a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign to acquire more donors online. Strategy, use Facebook and Instagram ads to direct a targeted online audience to your fundraising website. Strategy, replace our in-person gala with a virtual gala to acquire 100 new donors. Again, this is just an example. We have 32 top virtual fundraising ideas. For more information for your 2023 virtual event planning, if you're interested, this will also be included in our resources for today. And then maybe your goal is to increase the average gift size by 3%. So then we have 3 different strategies here that you could do, right? Create giving levels and incorporate into all of your fundraisers, right? So you'll create the giving levels that are going to help you achieve your average gift size. Put it right on your form, right? Put it right in your campaign. Ask your returning donors to increase their gifts. Make the ask. Strategy, target one-time donors for a recurring giving campaign, right? These are all ways that you can increase average gift size. It is statistically proven these days with recurring gifts and pledges that donors are more likely to give larger donation values when they have an option to make it a recurring or a pledge gift, because then they can fit it within their budget, right? They can pledge a very large value like $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and then break it into more manageable payments over time, whether it's monthly or annually. And it's all an automatic process. And I'm sorry I didn't put this in the slides. We have a bunch of other webinars that discuss pledges, but yeah, anything that's just easy for the donor, it's like a set it and forget it for them, will really help you increase your average gift size year round. And on CauseVox, we actually make it really easy because we do offer now bank transfer, and it tends to be that any gifts over $200, donors want to use an automatic bank transfer. It's more reliable, it's more secure. So definitely check out our resources on ACH and bank transfer and pledges, because this could just automatically help you increase gift size. Yep, and then I just listed some of our pro tips here for event planning. So again, it could be as simple as, updating a donation form or updating your fundraising site to help you convert more donors online. For example, Mentor New York raised 12 times their fundraising goal. I don't know how they did it. They had a goal of $10,000 and somehow they raised $124,000 in I think it was 29 days or something like that, something crazy. But it was just an easy to use platform and ticketing platform for them. They did both tickets and donations, and it just worked really well. We have this story linked here if you want to check out more about how they accomplished it, but it was just really cool to see them exceed their goals so much. Okay, so this was just going back again to your fundraising techniques and listing details of each fundraiser that you want to run, including the fundraiser type and name, the anticipated income of that specific campaign or fundraiser, staff and volunteer time, marketing costs, other expenses, days and times of the event, intended audience, and any other notes you might want detailed in your spreadsheet when you look at, again, making a list of your campaigns, these strategies that you're going to implement to reach your goal. This is an example of what it might look on your spreadsheet. Sorry for this graphic quality here. But yeah, basically fundraiser name, audience, target audience, the timeline. So when November to December, estimated expenses, and you can bullet that list out, break down that 1,300 out, be as detailed as possible. And then your income goal. Any additional notes? This is always helpful just to make sure everything's documented so that people know how to work moving forward. So once you've sort of detailed all of the information about the activity that you're trying to implement, and you identify your budgetary needs, then you can assign and delegate milestones for each of these activities, right? Once you have a full list of tasks and activities for the year, you want to start thinking about who will do what for each of them. So take each activity and make sure there is a staff person assigned to complete that task. So this is not only going to help your team get organized and prepared for the upcoming year, but it also means that nothing's going to slip through the cracks. So definitely use it as a resource for your teammates so that they can come back to it each month and review it, review what they need to accomplish and how they did in the previous month. I listed this project management tool resource and some platforms you can use to assign tasks to your teams. Resources like Basecamp and some other team management software. Calendar. So now that we have the list of our activities or campaigns, we have each task assigned to an individual teammate. Now we can set due dates, and these are the important dates for your fundraising events and other activities, as well as the approximate time frame you'll start working on each piece. Now, the easiest way to make your plan feel like a plan instead of this nebulous strategy is to start including due dates for each task assigned, because then, it's just going to help you get strategic about everything. So in general, again, it's helpful to always work backwards and start with when you know a given project is due. So for example, if you're running an event, then the day of the event would be your drop dead due date for everything. And then from here, you can estimate how much time you'll need for each task and calculate it backwards. So think especially about tasks that have to be completed before other things can be done. Like if you need to book a venue before, if you need to book a venue, then that needs to happen before you can think about catering. So, think about what has to happen first, second, third, and then add in a due date for the first step that gives you enough time to complete the second step. You'll also want to think about the workload of each team member. If you notice that one person has a lot of due dates all clustered together, then see if you can spread them out. Are there, other places you can work ahead? Can you adjust the timing of a campaign so that it doesn't overlap as much with others? It's easy to want to front load your year, but think carefully about what you can place in each quarter so you have a sustainable pace. And then you're going to create your calendar. Remembering that your plan is a living document and something to be referred to regularly, which includes your key fundraising objectives and a detailed plan to execute your goals. The final product will be a calendar, and you can share this with your team so that everybody can follow along. We have the downloadable spreadsheet that includes a sample along with the template for you to use on your own plan. And it looks like this. So you see, we break it up for you by quarters, and then you can add in each month your fundraising activity for the month, the cost for that activity, the staff hours needed for that activity, estimated income, estimated cost, net income, results from the previous year, and then your goal alignment and any other resources and notes you might have. And once that's all complete, you can, it'll just be there for for referencing for all of your organization to have and be aware of. And yeah, just a really great resource for you guys to create. But I do have this last section about best practices. I'm going to just speak briefly for a couple minutes. These are some strategies you can use to make sure you get the most out of your fundraising plan. And I mentioned some of them previously. But the first one is to go into as much detail as possible. So any work you do now is work you don't have to do in the future, right? I mean, sometimes it's a little tedious on the front end, right? You have to put a little bit more effort in the front end to, you know, gain those better results later on in your year. So the more detail you add in the beginning is something off your plate later on. So for example, you could start assigning tasks to your team based on a gut feeling, or you could take this more systematic approach. So start by answering a few questions. How many staff people can devote their time to fundraising? And how much time can they devote each week? Another question might be, do you have a volunteer base to help with these fundraising tasks? If so, how many hours per week total for all volunteers? Maybe you could ask, are your board members required to fundraise on behalf of your organization? And if so, how many hours per week can you expect them to engage? And then finally, what is your annual fundraising budget, including marketing costs? So then once you have your findings, you can use a checklist or spreadsheet or a similar table, such as this one, where you list each staff person and the amount of time they can devote per week. You can write down the average number of volunteers and their anticipated weekly commitment, and then outline your annual fundraising budget, including the staff time, fundraising, and other expenses this way. So this is just that secondary breakdown of finding, you know, the detail in terms of your manpower and the man hours you can assign. You can complete a similar process for any of the steps listed above. So if you want to break them down into more micro sections, you're using a spreadsheet to create your plan, you can, you know, assign a particular area its own tab so that you have all your information easily in one place, and then you know how you reach certain due dates or assignments. You can make it collaborative. So if you have a team use it, the more you can incorporate your team from step one, the more buy-in you'll have on the plan moving forward. Plus, then your team is there with you in the trenches. They will also have insight on what worked well last year and what needs tweaking. So get their feedback when reviewing your past strategies and work with them as you're setting your tasks and deadlines to make sure it feels reasonable. And then ask them for brainstorms of new strategies to use. The best part is that if you have a collaborative document or spreadsheet, each team member can update it. And then as they finish tasks, then you'll know things that so you'll know things are down, and you know when each team member is in the process. You'll have more of an awareness of everything that's happening. Be willing to change when necessary. This was part of what we discussed earlier. I was, you know, doing that little opening question, you know, are you spontaneous? This is making room for some spontaneity or certain things that come up. So remember, your fundraising plan should be a living document, and you should also use it as a North Star guiding you through the year to constantly align your team and your priorities to the strategies that will help you achieve your end goal. But while it's important to have these set in place, you can be flexible with your plan if needed. If a great opportunity comes up, can you replace it with one of the other strategies? Probably, right? Like if it's a really great opportunity, you might have to, you know, work one in, move one to, you know, move one down, prioritize. And it's important to review the plan every quarter just to make sure you're on track and to see if your goals or strategies have changed. And you want to make it visible and prominent in your organization. One of the most frustrating things in life is when a person spends, or when I spend a lot of work creating a plan and then nobody uses it, or like if I don't use it, like why did I just spend all this time making my plan? Yeah, don't let that happen. Make sure everyone on your team knows where it is, how they can access it, how they can find it, have it on hand at meetings, check in on whether due dates are being met. Just, it's your little friend for a while. Yeah, just keep it with you. It could be helpful to print it out and post it somewhere in the common spaces so everyone has it if they need it. So that was pretty much an overview of plan, like how to set up your fundraising plan. There are some other details that you could include that I did not go into, including setting up your gift pyramid. That is something that would be like the final part. The gift pyramid helps you break up your overall goal into specific gift levels, so you can plan how many donations of each size you will need. But if you have questions about that, you can always email us. We can direct you to some nice resources that will help you determine a gift pyramid breakdown. So again, you can always, reach out to us if you want to maybe incorporate CauseVox into some of those fundraising strategies throughout the year to contribute towards your main macro goal. I'm going to grab some links here so I can post them in the chat. Let's see. So if you want to book a demo, I have the demo link here. Here are your free resources that will be coming in the slides. And here are, I need to send this to everyone. So here's the book, the demo link. If you want to book a demo with us, here is our, let's see, subscribing to updates. Just a second here. That's through our blog. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can email us. The slides will be available. They should be sent out either Friday or Monday. Yeah, I think everything will be sent by like end of the week or early next week. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Cheryl. I am going to open this up to our questions, and let me just check the Q&A panel. Okay, bye, Linda. Thank you for joining. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. It doesn't look like anybody has any particular questions right now, so I'm going to say we're ending a little early, but if you had any questions that come up, you can email us at support@causevox.com. And yeah, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.